Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 7 of the Collegiate Chess League. My name is Joe, and I'm joined by the one and only Grandmaster Benjamin Bach, joining us once again to root on his former team for St. Louis University, who is facing up against Mizzou. This is the last week of the regular season, and these teams have a lot on the line here. It's a top 2 spot they're fighting for. Mizzou currently is the number 2 spot. If they win, they jump up ahead of UT Dallas for the number 1 spot. And SLU is currently outside of the top 2 in 3rd place. But if they win, they'll pass Mizzou for 2nd place. So there's a lot on the line here, Ben.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you said, if the team that wins will get their spot directly into the semifinals, perhaps for Mizzou, it's even a slight edge that they will be seeded first going into the playoffs. Maybe that gives them a slightly favorable pairing. But for SLU, if they lose, they're going to also have to play the quarterfinals. If they lose in the quarterfinals, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, they also are not guaranteed a prize. But if they win this match, they're already in the semis, they're guaranteed a prize. So definitely lots on the line, and of course a lot of prestige. I mean, a lot of battles have been fought out between SLU Mizzou, and here we have another one.
You're exactly right. Semifinal spot guarantees you at least 4th place, which puts you in the cash money. That is, I believe, $500 for 4th place. But as you said, these teams have a lot more than just money on the line. They have some school pride. I think Mizzou and SLU are probably the biggest rivals in all of college chess. These teams have faced off many times before. You've played against Mizzou many times in your college chess career. And I know you've personally have won some of those matches. I know you yourself are probably one of the most decorated college chess players, being a champion multiple times. You were obviously the captain, and you were also commentating, so it's good to have you back. And is there anything else you'd like to share a little bit about this sort of historic rivalry?
Yeah, no, I think you've already said a lot, Joe. Yeah, like you said, yeah, lots of matches have been fought out between these two teams. Really strong lineups on both sides. We see that Mizzou, I would say, should perhaps be the slight favorites in this match because they have gems on all boards. They have Ariane Tari rated around 2650. They have Ijik Jan, a strong grandmaster as well. A new player, Mahel Boyer from France. We see him here, King of the Nil. He's actually board um, 3 for Mizzou, but he's in great shape right now against board number 2 for against of SLU, Aryan Chopra, who is in a very tough spot. So I would say Mizzou is the slight favorite here. Tianqi Wang, I think the only not GM, non-GM in this match, but anything can happen.
Yeah, Tianqi Steve, as he's also known by, is I believe from UTRGV actually, and he's the team captain who took over from Robbie Kevlishvili, who I see tuning in the chat. So a lot of SLU alum. I've also commentated with Talia before, who's been on broadcasts for the SLU team. Mizzou, though, they also have quite an alumni group. You have Grigory Oparin, who was playing in the U.S. Championship, also playing the FIDE World Cup. Also Mikhail Antipov, who's now coaching for the UT Dallas team. But now we've got the new players joining in. As you mentioned, there's Aryan Tari for Mizzou, Aryan Chopra for SLU. But I don't see Tari's game right now. I'm not sure if maybe they're late.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Aryan actually lost in the FIDE World Cup to Pranav. I'm sure he was not happy that he lost that one. I'm sure also that Christian Kurila was rooting for him there. But you know, one consolation for Kurila is that now Aryan can play in this important match right here. By the way, as we're talking about the players, I think Mahel Bayer has a knockout blow here with the move Rook D takes E7, taking the knight. And the point is that if you take the queen on F4, White can take on F7. Black has to go King G8, and then Rook takes F6. Practically leads to checkmate. And after Rook takes E7, if Black would take the bishop, there's Queen takes F7, checkmate. So that'd be a knockout blow for Mahel. Let's see if he finds it.
Yeah, that's a crazy move. Sacrificing your queen, right? Leaving the queen up for grabs. So rook from E or D takes E7. Does it matter?
I think so. Yeah, it does. If you take the E rook, black can take the queen on f4, because then rook takes f7, there's king e8. So you want to take of the D rook.
And there he goes. He finds it. Beautiful queen sacrifice.
Yep,
And this is
great
against
move.
the is this the top board? No, this is the second board. Wow, and we see just instant resigns.
Yep. All right. Great find by Mahal. Yeah, I'm sure that after Aryan made his move, he saw rook d takes e7, and he just thought to himself, okay, if he plays that move, I'm just gonna press the resign button. But yeah, of course, you make your opponent find it. Okay, so Mizzou takes a 1-0 lead. All right. Okay, so let's
I
see,
see
what
Taria
game do you
started
want to?
his game up against
Mm-hmm.
Steve.
All right. Yep. Okay. Okay, so that is going on over there. Okay, what's catching my attention, Joe? Let me know if there's another game. Okay, so we see here the game between Aryan Chopra and Steve. Steve likes to go for these systems, so we'll see how this one will play out. But one thing that is standing out to me, Joe, is the fact that Gajik is currently beating Luka, because Gajik has a queen and a knight for two rooks, which is just not enough material. So that should be SLU leveling up the score.
Yeah, it's always important. You don't want your opponents to get too much of a lead. So 1-0, not the biggest deal. There's only one game been played. But Victor Gajic, who is the board one today, over 3,100 for Gajic. Also, I believe from UTRGV. So there's this UTRGV pipeline to SLU. Is that a thing?
I assume so, yeah. I mean, I think SLU is generally one of the strongest teams because they have one of the best packages to offer. So I think people are generally eager to go to that university. So I think that's why, you sometimes see people transferring.
All right, so the knight on d2 is hitting the rook on b1. There's this trick. If you play rook d1, trying to pin the knight to the queen, there's knight f3 discovery winning that rook. So the rook has to find a new home. It goes up to the sixth rank, hitting the queen, also maybe eyeing this g6 pawn. But the rooks don't want to get too separated. The king on g1 is surprisingly pretty weak. Maybe it's not surprising
Hmm.
at all. There's no g pawn. You've
No.
got doubled h pawns. Your back rank has issues. The queen's hitting the bishop here. So this is gonna be a win for Gajic, as you'd mentioned, unless Luca can pull out some trick.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. The bishop is under attack. Also, queen c1 is currently a threat. And in case you go bishop b2, defending against those two threats, I'm sure that Gajik is looking at the move queen to h3, trying to slide into the f1 square. And there's just no defense, I think. And there we have it on the board. I think Luca's going to try rook takes g7, followed by bishop takes e5. But it's clear that black is going to win.
Oh,
Oh,
there's made
checkmate.
one. All right,
Yep.
so Gajic tying up the score 1-1 each, and now we have this Batsurin game that we haven't looked at yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one is looking really balanced. We see Batsurin having the bishop pair, and we've opposite side castling. So this one can really go either way. I think this one will determine who's going to take the lead coming out of the first round.
And Robbie said there's actually three people at UTRGV. I know Gajic, I know Steve. Who's the third? Do you know?
Um, oh, that might be, is that Sela? I think Sela. Maybe
Hmm,
Robbie can confirm.
that makes sense. You would know more than I do. So,
Right.
all right, Robbie
Robbie
says
says
correct.
correct.
Yes. Hold on. Let
Yeah,
me
Joe, you
see.
gotta send me the
Yeah, let
shared
me let me
chat
do this.
invite.
I'll send it right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, I appreciate that. So then, yeah, the chats are all coordinated. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really appreciate you coming in sort of last minute here. I know you're a busy guy. You're just commentating with Yasser for Crazy House. What else have you been up to?
Yeah, that. Also, I was recently playing in an online tournament hosted by, I don't know if you know him. His name is Caleb Klenoff. He lives in the New York area, or at least on the East Coast. He hosted his own event. Then I managed to win, so obviously that was nice. But yeah, obviously lots of things going going on. But yeah, it's always good to keep myself busy. But yeah, no, I was thinking, like whether I was going to join or not. But today would have been Danya's 30th birthday, and I also know that towards the end of his life. He was eager to get back into commentary, so I feel like, that's what he would do. So yeah, no, but happy to be here. It's always fun to cover collegiate chess. Like it's been a while, and yeah, of course, SLU versus Mizzou is always the marquee matchup of the season.
Yeah, I did want to mention a appreciation for Daniel Naroditsky, who would have turned 30 today. So happy birthday to Danya, who Danya also has commentated, um, I believe, at least one match in Collegiate Chess League history. I believe it was the finals between St. Louis University and Webster University. So that was a big win for SLU. So shout out to SLU. Uh, but yeah, this is a tough matchup with Mizzou. As you mentioned, maybe even being the favorites. They are the number one rated team that registered this season. And honestly, I think what's been surprising this season is I'm not sure if you're keeping up to date with the standings at all, but it's actually UT Dallas who was in the lead, still are in the lead technically in the standings, starting off with a perfect 6-0 record, beating both SLU and Mizzou. But they lost for their first time this season yesterday against Texas Tech, which gives Mizzou an opportunity here today to take that first place spot.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really weird
Yeah,
position. Both players in very low time. That's a bishop hanging on e5, no?
yeah, I think you just take it. Black is aiming to take on d1, but the two bishops should be much stronger than the rook, which is not doing that much at the moment. I like bishop e3 here. But yeah, their new coach, Mike Antipov, probably has really encouraged them to take the Collegiate Chess League seriously. I know Mike, he was also a frequent player in the Collegiate Chess League, so maybe that influenced that as well. Um, so yeah, it's really interesting because usually it was always between SLU and Mizzou. I think those are the only two teams that have won in recent years, but now UTD really making their appearance felt as well.
How comfortable are you with this time scramble right now between Patsurin and Isak?
I don't know. I mean, I like to think that I'm pretty good even in time pressure, but it's always kind of nerve-wracking in these matches. And I feel like now Batsurin has missed a thread a little bit, and this game can really go either way. Queen f5 and take on g5, for example. It's an important pawn. Just take the pawn.
One
Oh, he's got
second.
1 second.
Oh my god. Two
He could have
seconds.
just taken. Okay, en
En
passant.
passant.
Okay,
Oh,
bishop
can we pin?
c4. All right, 2 seconds. He's got to move. Oh, he hangs a rook. Wow.
Wow. That'll make things easier.
Yeah.
Just like
Still not easy for Batsurin to
Queen
convert,
e7.
but okay, check. Queen c2.
Yeah, queen trade.
Okay, maybe push the pawn a little bit. Yeah, there he goes. Batsurin should win this game. His king is relatively weak. He can always line up the queen and bishop. So I think he's going to get the win here.
King up to defend the pawn. He's got to
Mm-hmm.
fend off a couple checks. Now go for mate, right? Queen f7.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. How do you
Yeah.
stop that? You throw in some
Okay,
checks.
you have to throw in some checks and pray for perpetual, but there should be a way for Batsurin to walk out of this. And now there's no more checks. That's GG.
Wow.
Unless that is also still no checks.
Queen d2. No. All right.
But,
So Vatsurin takes the lead for St. Louis University, and now we have Aryan Tari up against Steve.
Yeah, and Steve, he's up a pawn here. He's got two connected passers on the queen side. It will not be that easy to convert this, but he should definitely not lose. And if Steve does not lose this game, Mizzou is going to take the lead coming out of the first round.
Is this winning a pawn, though? Bishop to c2.
So here Steve has a decision to make. If he wants to play it safe, he can go knight d4. Tari will be forced to give up his bishop. So then he can regain the pawn on b3. And there we see knight d4, the safe decision. So this game is going to end in a draw, which will mean that SLU is going to take the lead.
Yeah, this is opposite color bishops. Also, I mean, the pawn's promoting on the wrong color. Anyways, that a pawn for white. So with all things even, this should be a draw. And as you said, SLU will have a 1-point lead going into round 2, which is a pretty good start.
Yep, no, that's a good start, especially because I do think Mizzou should be the favorites on paper. They have GMs on all boards. Ariantari, strong GM, rated 3015. But yeah, this SLU team is pretty strong as well with Gajic, like you said, rated over 3100. But yeah, okay. Arian offered a draw and it has been accepted. So it's a 1 point lead for SLU.
And that's a really good result. As you mentioned, Steve's the only non GM in this entire matchup that's also board 4 versus board 1. You know, Mizzou, they like having Tari back. I believe that's part of the reason why they rescheduled this match. He's been traveling for FIDE World Cup, and Lord knows where Aryan Tari is at this moment. But yeah, not his best result there. A draw and a really good result for SLU.
Yep, a good result for Steve. All right, and so we're off to round number 2. We see Steve playing the Scandinavian with queen to d6. I wonder what Coach Vara Kolbian thinks of that opening. Knight c6. Now, this seems a bit risky to me.
What do you think VAR thinks about the opening?
Well, if he loses, Vara's going to be like, what the heck is this opening, man? Like, play something solid, okay? You're board 4. You just need to be solid. I mean, draws will come. That's what Vara would say.
Yeah, and I know you guys also have Daro helping out with some coaching, right? Darius Swirtz.
Yep.
So
No, he's the assistant coach.
yeah, I ran into you guys at the St. Louis Chess Club just the other day. It's always good to see you guys. I haven't run into Robbie yet though over there. So when am I gonna see Robbie? I guess has Robbie left yet?
Robbie is saying can confirm. That's exactly what VAR would say. And I remember we have also Shelov Oberoi, Elliot Alderson in the chat. VAR was not happy with him when Shelov went 0-4 in the final one day.
Ooh. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Shout out to Shelev, who's also a streamer. And haven't seen him play in the CCL for a little bit. I know that SLU has actually a couple of teams registered, unlike like Mizzou, for example. Mizzou has had lower teams registered in the past, but I wonder where this Matthew Pikus guy is. Where is he? Is he not in the chat yet?
He is playing state championships against Hikaru. That's what he's doing.
Oh, okay. Well, has it been at least one time, maybe 2 times? Has he seen him?
Yes, they played in Louisiana and they were playing in the same tournament. I forgot. Or maybe they played in Illinois. Maybe they played in Illinois and they
Iowa?
were very close to playing in Iowa. But then Matthew, he lost in the penultimate round to
Oh
like a
no.
10-year-old kid. And on top of that, he was not going to play Hikaru in the last round. So first of all, you have the pain of losing to a 10-year-old and missing out on your game against Hikaru.
That's brutal. That's a double
Yep.
whammy.
Yep.
Fun fact, I met both Matt and Hikaru for the first time just this year. So I luckily or fortunately got paired against Mr. Pikus. And do you want to guess who won that game?
You.
Yeah. Somehow.
Nice. Congrats.
So he's my only win at the St. Louis Chess Club quads. I've played twice now. The first time I got swept. Second time I started off 0 for 2, but luckily I think Matthew was being very nice to me that day.
Oh, Joe, we have some actions on the other board. We should really go to the game between Aryan Chopra and Luka Budisalvic because Luka, I think, just made a blunder. If we can pull it up, look at this move. Knight to g5, threatening checkmate on h7. Your castle looks very normal, but knight g5, threatening checkmate on h7. And the problem is if you take the knight, white's going to take on b7, and the rook on a8 is trapped. So Aryan winning a full exchange here. And this should be a win for him, but still, of course, a lot of technique required to convert his advantage into a full point.
Yeah, beautiful move here from Aryan Chopra. Knight to g5. It looks like Black's saying, hey, your rook on a1 is hanging, but Chopra pulls off the call an ambulance meme because it's actually the bishop and the rook on the light square diagonal that's hanging. So yeah, nice tactics here from Aryan, and I'm excited to see Aryan versus Aryan, and we could see which is the stronger Aryan.
Exactly. Yeah. And I really like what Chopra is doing here. He's up the exchange, so he has a rook for a bishop, right? And the question is like, how do you convert this into a win, right? You want to make your rooks operate to their maximum potential, and that's what he's doing here by trying to open up the d file by pushing over the pawn to d4 and d5. But we see Luca trying to stir up some counterplay on the king side with pushing that h pawn up. So this one is not over yet.
Yeah, and I would have been tempted to just take on e6. What might isolate an e pawn for black structure actually opens up the light square diagonal. It also opens up the rook on the f file. So we could see Chopra is definitely a much more solid player than I am. So yeah, queen back to f3, keeping everything solid, not taking on e6 or taking on h4, bringing both rooks into the center of the game. Very solid stuff.
Yeah, but now Luca has managed to get a pawn back, so at least he has something to show for the exchange. And now this is really not going to be that easy to convert, but still, of course, big advantage for Arjan. So let's see what's going to happen here. By the way, we have a lot of action in the game between Ishik and Steve. We should really go to that one because we left off in the opening after after g6. And Ishik went for a very quick d5 push, which was met by a6, before b5. We see Ishik sacrificing a piece, but he can now get the piece back. But, you know, Steve will have some compensation in the form of the bishop pair.
Yeah, sacrificing and getting the pawn to d5. He probably should take. Wow, he doesn't. He's threatening knight takes c7, but the computer is not a
Wait,
fan
but
of this.
95. He might have made a mistake here. Now Steve can keep his extra piece. I guess he was banking on knight takes d5, queen takes d5. But after 95, it's advantage black.
Wow. So yeah, black's attacking this pawn twice, only defended once. Uh, and knight takes d5, as you'd mentioned. It looks like it defends c7, but white has this really nice idea. Queen takes d5 because you're getting the queen back with the fork. Oh wow, but black misses knight e5. The idea is that you give up your knight, but it was hanging anyways. But the idea is that the knight on b5 is hanging. So now white has a second opportunity to take not only on c6, but also could you take on c7, or is that too much? Your rook or your knight might get trapped there.
It seems a little risky. Yeah, your knight could get stranded there. He goes knight fd4, but now both the knights on d4 and b5 are kind of loose. One thing I also like about Steve's play, or well, it depends on the situation. When I play him, I don't like it as much, but he plays really fast. So that's always something annoying. And we see here he's got almost 3 minutes to a minute. Perhaps Ishik has a slight advantage on the board, but it's really hard to figure out. Rook a5, by the way, really like that move. Also bring ideas of e5 into the position.
Oh,
So I
this
like Steve's chances because of the time advantage.
this position's very much not easy. White is up 2 points of material, right? But the computer favors black by a lot, and that time advantage, as you mentioned, is a huge factor in this. We see the move b4, just throwing a pawn away, but attacking the rook on a5, and the computer saying the best move is actually just knight h5.
Wow. Leaving a full rook hanging, but the point is that you take that bishop on f4, and you would threaten checkmate on g2. That would really set the board on fire. So now we see Steve taking his time. So it'll be interesting to see what he's gonna come up with. I feel like this game can easily determine which team. I feel like this game can easily determine the score of this round. Wait, e5, but now he's giving up an exchange. I don't like this move.
This
Wait,
is
that looks.
this is just
I don't.
chaos.
But bishop g3 and white keeps the pin. So big mistake by Steve there. Now he's just down an exchange, and I think Ishik is simply going to win this game.
Yeah, Steve's banking on perhaps the time pressure going to be too much for Isak, but man, that knight h5 move is looking so good. If you could
Mhm.
imagine a knight on f4, as you'd mentioned, there's a mate threat on g2, and once you save that, there was bishop takes d4, and you can't take back because of knight e2 fork. Um, wow, that was a really cool puzzle position, actually. But all right, bishop
Mhm.
a6, the game goes on, rook e1 hitting the knight.
Yeah, black definitely still has some compensation. Perhaps now the knight can jump to c3. Okay, he goes rook d8. I mean, I can imagine a world where he goes knight c3, maybe f5, f4, and there's still some play for black, especially because white has 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and living off that 2-second increment is not easy. Okay, we see
Wow,
the
I feel
trade.
like
You
it's
have to take with the
simplifying
queen.
too
Wait, is there
much.
not
There's
e4 here?
e4, but white takes to the queen and you're just down 3 pawns.
You do get that exchange on a1, but maybe the dark square bishop is more valuable than the rook.
I think Steve has to keep more play in the position. Perhaps a move like bishop e7, followed by queen c6. You know, keeps it more complicated because I feel like e4 simplifies it too much. White would still be up 3 pawns. So I think you should do something else.
Right, and meanwhile, there are some other games getting low on the clock here. I feel like this Gajic game versus Mihal was very
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Oh, it does. Yeah, we see that Mahal has 20 seconds on the clock. He's up at knight for a couple of pawns. This board is also on fire.
Yeah, I like Gajic's pawn duo in the center. Queen and
Mm-hmm.
rook on the f file. Rook's doubled on the f file now.
Mm-hmm. Rook g8,
Mihal
nice move by Mahal, bring a rook into defense.
only has
I'm
11 seconds.
I know. I'm gonna say Victor, but it's purely because of the time. On the board, it can really go either way.
It's so hard though to find like how do you break through this? King is on h7. Okay, he's attacking the knight. Black just takes a pawn.
Wait, can you? Wait, takes on e5. What happens if Black takes to the queen? Oh wait, then bishop d3, king h8, queen g6. Okay, let's see. He's got a minute to figure it out. What he's gonna do.
Yeah, I feel like you wanted to get rid of this knight on e5 because you want a rook on f7.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like some wild ideas at some point. Bishop d3. So bishop takes now.
Bishop takes only move for Black. Queen takes loses on the spot. Do the bishop d3 and queen g6. Force. Okay, he finds it. Rook f7. And he's gonna have to block with the rook. Yeah, and Mahel, to his credit, finds all the right moves with seconds on the clock.
In this
Mm-hmm.
position, it's like teetering on a knife's edge. It's so sharp.
Yeah, when you're Victor here, he's got to be frustrated. He's got to be like, where is the win? Where's the win? But it doesn't seem to be there. And now he's getting low on time as well.
Can we see Chopra getting a win against Luca?
All right, d6, really tricky move by Victor, baby.
d7.
d7, yeah, how do you stop that pawn? 2 seconds, he goes queen d4. There's got to be a win now.
Now the computer wants bishop d3. Oh, this threw away all the advantage. I don't know how
Queen
bishop d3.
e7, still super. Wow, Mahel keeps finding all the best moves with 1 second on the clock. Queen e8. Oh, queen takes
Whoa!
h5. He hung
Oh
mate.
my god, that was mate in
Queen
2.
h3, queen h3, queen h3. Only move. He hung mate in 2, but Gajik missed it. Now it should just be a draw.
Wow.
And it's a draw. Yeah. Wow. What a
Unbelievable.
game.
And Isak won against Steve.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he passed
Chopra
his a
won,
pawn.
and Aryan is beating Batsurin. So it looks like Mizzou is going to level up the score.
Wow, that was a crazy miss. Mate in 2, queen takes h5, blundered, and that ends up being a draw between Mahal and Gajic.
Okay, this one not over yet, but that B pawn is looking really strong for Tari. Really hard to stop that. But, you know, Batsurin also has 2 connected passers. King f6. Don't like king e6, because now your king is on a checkable square. Perhaps now is the time to push.
Yeah, what's wrong with b7? I guess they
King
check us from
c4,
behind, but
rook b1. Yeah. Now push. King c. Oh,
king
that's
up,
okay.
push. We're threatening rook c6 check with rook b6.
Yeah, and I don't see how you stop that. Because h3 is knight g5. Oh, what?
Whoa!
What?
What was
What
that?
was that? What? I don't even understand what Tari tried to do.
We're both just absolutely in shock right now. He had this idea of rook c6. Was he expecting a different move than h3? He was expecting maybe knight
Oh,
e7.
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. So Arion was reaching for rook c6. He touched his rook, wanted to go rook c6. Then he's like, no, let me go knight g5. And as he reached for the knight, he touched the e7 square, and that made the
No,
move rook
no,
e7
no.
happen.
He saw
No, no, that's what
rook.
happened.
I think rook c6 to rook b6 was so obvious that he expected black to defend against rook c6 check by playing knight e7.
No,
That's
no, I
my.
because no, because rook c6 actually loses because black takes the knight on f7, and then rook b6, you take an h2. So I think he wanted to switch to knight g5, but then, like I said, he accidentally clicked the e7 square and rook e7 happened. So really unfortunate for Aryan.
Oh man.
But that is a massive win for SLU, who now takes a 2-point lead.
Yeah, Tari is probably beside himself right now. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
have been tied 4-4, but it's a 2-point lead for SLU, and Mizzou is facing some tough adversity right now. They got to come back. They got 2 rounds left, second half of this match.
Mm-hmm. Um. All right. Okay. All right. So we see SLU taking a 2-point lead. Um. All right. Okay. Well, let's see what's gonna happen. But yeah. Okay. So let's see. SLU having a 2-point lead. Now, just know that the coaches do care. They do care about the CCL, the Collegiate Chess League. Of course, the most important is winning the Final Four, and of course, the Pan Am's qualifying for the Final Four. The Pan Am's in and of itself also an important tournament, but Collegiate Chess League definitely important as well. So um, let's see what's going to happen. We have a lot of interesting games. Is there anything that stands out to you, Joe?
Yeah, we're finally getting our Aryan versus Aryan matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Aryan's gonna win.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so interesting stuff here. Perhaps slight advantage for Tari, but yeah, I'm sure that the coaches are watching. So hello VAR, hello Christian. Hope you guys are doing well, and I'm sure that VAR, he wants solid play on all the boards. He's like, hey, now we're up in the match. Let's play solid, guys. Let's bring home the win.
Okay, is G4 a solid move here from Tari?
Well, he's playing for Mizzou,
That's
so
true.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so VAR only wants the solid moves for SLU.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
that makes a lot of
All right.
sense. But you think Tari's tilted at all? He's a half out of 2 against the bottom 2 boards.
Um. Yeah, Tari, he might be a little tilted because of that loss. Yeah. No, definitely.
H5
Because
now.
he had the win in the back. Like just knight g5, take an h3, and then you get the win. But he had an unfortunate circumstance there that threw away everything. H5. Wow, what a move. What a move by Chopper. Knight h7 now. Aha, and h4, f6 perhaps is what he wants, blowing up the king side.
Yeah, H4 looks like the obvious move here, just defending the G pawn. But then, as you said, Black has F6 idea, so really
Mm-hmm.
forcing things to open up.
Yeah, and I think he will play that move to chop up the king side. That definitely looks like the move.
It sounds like if Aryan Chopra was a Pokemon, his attack would be to chop up the king side.
Yeah, that's why
Chopra
I said
chose his
it.
chop. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Chopper uses chop.
It
Chop
was super
attack. Yeah.
effective.
Yeah, F6 looks like an effective move here. Yeah, so let's see if he will play it. All right. All right, so that is that. Um,
There it is. All right, and now G6. But how do you can't really okay, they're trading the G pawn for the H pawn. Whoa. King steps up. And it looks like Chopra had all this planned out because he's played these moves pretty fast. So his knight's pinned, but can we play like knight e4? I want to get the bishop to e4. But then hmm.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like the computer's loving. I guess the problem is there's going to be this rook h8 move.
Yeah. And that's a big win. That win is gonna go a long way for SLU to get the win in the match. If Chopra wins, but it looks crushing, honestly, with King of 7 coming next. And this might definitely be the result of a bit of tilt from Aryan, because I think, I mean, I don't know, because it seems like he was just throwing things forward on the king side, and now it's coming right back into his face with Rook H8, Knight takes H4. And like I said, if SLU gets a win here, they only need another 2.5 points to clinch the match.
Yeah, so Tare may be hoping for some mouse slips in return his way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so let's see. That is that. Oh, we should perhaps go to the game between Batsurin and Luka. That one is looking really good for Batsurin, so we might see SLU getting another win there. We see White having the two connected passers. Knight b5 to c7 or d6 is a great idea. So, hey, if SLU wins this one as well, they're very close to clinching the match already.
Yeah, and that's not going to be a happy Christian going from a top two spot to out of a top two spot, having to play an extra round in the quarterfinals in the playoffs. But there is something to say about it still being the regular season, and the playoffs is really where the results are going to matter. So at the end of the day, having to play in the quarterfinals, it could cost your team, right? Especially if you've got players that are traveling and competing in a lot of other events. They don't necessarily want to have to spend an extra hour playing than they have to. But sometimes getting that extra round in can help you with warming up, let's say, instead of just starting your first semifinals match sort of cold. But these teams definitely want to win this match today. The match is still far from over, but it's looking very solid, very good for the St. Louis team.
Yeah, no, that game by Tari was just a huge swing. That should have been Mizzou equalizing the score, and anything can happen. But now it really seems to be going SLU's way. Still, this game is not over. The game of Chopra is not over yet, but he's doing some real damage on the king side. I mean, he's really. I mean, Aryan's king on G1 is looking chopped right now.
Yeah, he couldn't even take back on G2. It's so sad. What happens I guess his bishop was hanging on C5, so he decided to save that. But yeah, the
Hmm.
H file is completely open. There's a knight, I mean, on G2 that you can't even take. So yeah,
Hmm.
Tari, it was tough to mouse slip, but you still have to remain composed and try not to tilt. But this game is the exact opposite of bouncing back.
Yeah, and by the way, I think there's more good news for the SLU team because if we go to board number, I don't know what it is, but if we go to the game between Steve and Mahel, we might see SLU getting another win right there because Mahel has sacrificed a piece, and I'm really not sure that he has enough compensation. That being said, anything can still happen, and once again, Steve doing a great job on the clock as he's up almost 2 minutes.
Yeah, as king now running f1, but completely safe. Up a piece for a pawn, and black doesn't really have any compensation to prove that the sacrifice was worth it. So now also under a minute, Steve up on time. Looking good here. I think the Mizzou team, they're falling apart.
Yep. Yeah, king of one, great move by Steve. Just king e2, rook h1 to follow. His king will look completely safe in the center, and he's up 2 minutes on the clock. So I think Steve is doing a really good job in this match, holding his own against these GMs. Let's see, is there any?
Gajic,
Honestly, Joe,
could
we might.
SLU
I was just gonna
clinch a
say
round early?
they very well could because we see Gajic is also having a massive advantage with the black pieces. Right now, after the move bishop to g7, f7, f6 is a massive threat. They would trap that bishop on g5, bishop d4 a threat as well. And Ishik is down to 30 seconds, so this might just be a sweep, and that could just be match over.
This really could be a SLU sweep in round three, and SLU's gonna send Mizzou home packing. And bishop d4. This is a fork. When it rains, it pours. Bach.
Yep, that one hurts, hitting everything. Um, 13 seconds for Gajic. Yeah, I think this one is about to be over.
5 seconds for Isak, and we have desperation now
I
for the
would take
Mizzou.
the knight because a full knight is 3 points instead of like a rook for a bishop that's only a 2 point gain. I think that's what he's going for. And yeah, with 6 seconds on the clock, this has to be one for Gajic. Gajic also, by the way, very tricky player. He's always up on time and creating problems on the board as well.
So White gets to take on f7, maybe drawing the Black King out, but 2 seconds on the clock here for Isak. And also just a mad scramble for both Mihail and Tari. It's like who's gonna lose first, right? It's hard to even see.
Mm-hmm. Robbie saying like last time we had this match. Wait, when was the last time they played? I know they played like Mizzou won a season in the very final. But who, Joe, can you remember who won last season? I know did Mizzou win in the fall or the spring or both? I forgot.
Oh boy, I have all this recorded somewhere, but okay, I see Tari lost. Steve got his checkmate. E6 down to 3 seconds. Is SLU gonna pull off the sweep here?
I think so. I think so. They're
There's
just winning on
there's
all the
the third
boards.
win, and now it's down to Batsurin. Can he finish off this Mizzou sweep and winning the match with a round to spare?
All right. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but the final round will still be played for board points. But I don't. Yeah, I think SLU's just clinching it. They're completely winning on all the boards. And oh, Batsurin is the last game left. He's also going to win.
Yet
Yeah, that's it.
you're correct. The fourth round will be played no matter what the results is or the score is because it's still the regular season, so those points matter for tiebreak purposes. In the playoffs, though, the fourth round does not have to be played if the match is already determined. And we have a
Mm-hmm.
mate threatened here on A8. Ooh, a nice sacrifice here to simplify. And we might see resigns there. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
wow, what a third round. I don't even know who all got their points. Was it Gajik that I missed? 2.5 maybe?
I suppose Gashing moved to 2.5. Yeah.
So yeah, 9-3, absolute dominance here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm being told that in the fall, Mizzou won. I remember it came down to the very last round. But in the spring, SLU bounced back and they won 10-2. They won with a round to spare, so really impressive stuff. And now they've also already won the match. But the final round, like you said, will be played for board points. So I'm sure that Coach Varakovian is going to be very proud of his team, as now they guarantee their spot in the semifinals, where Mizzou is going to have to start in the quarters.
Okay, I have the CCL history stats here. So season 9, this was the fall 2024, as Robbie said. That was Mizzou winning both regular season and the finals by the same score of 9-7. But last season, SLU won in the regular season 8.5 to 7.5, so very close. But then in the finals, it was a whopping 10-2 for SLU.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So this isn't as landslided or lopsided as that match was, but still a very dominant win. So SLU, it's going to be 2 regular seasons in a row. But we still have the playoffs, which will be starting next week. And yeah, there's a lot of doubt maybe in the air. Mizzou was the number 1 ranked team going in, but then Dallas and now here's SLU beating Mizzou in the regular season, and Mizzou falling to a number 3 spot in the standings. Do you have maybe any doubts, or do you think SLU is actually going to hold on and defend their championship title from last season?
Um, it's gonna be really tough. I mean, I thought like SLU and Mizzou would be the 2 top favorites, but then apparently UTD has been crushing it this season. So it can really go either way. I mean, I would still think that if one of these two teams comes in full strength, they should be the favorite. Perhaps still Mizzou, but it's really extremely close. I feel like SLU, Mizzou, UTD, all of those teams are very capable of winning. And by the way, this match is really important because you said, I think if SLU would lose this match, they would have to play Texas Tech in a quarterfinals. Now, sometimes the quarterfinals can just be a formality, but like I said, Texas Tech actually beat UTD the other day, so that is a match that could have easily gone wrong. So really nice that now they're already guaranteed their semifinal spot.
Yeah. And knowing that SLU is going to win this match, I actually am wondering if any of the players would perhaps like to join for an interview, or maybe we could even bring in former captain Robbie Kevlishvili if he's down to join us in the commentary booth.
Well, I was thinking, like how is it possible that SLU is crushing Mizzou this badly? But I cannot help but think that it's because their former captain is here cheering them on. So, you guys are welcome. Getting a crushing win. Now you guys don't have to play in the quarterfinals. And but I don't know if I can be here for the playoffs matches as well. I don't know.
That's okay, but I'm really glad that the SLU team showed up. You're mentioning maybe it's for Robbie in the chat. I think large part is having you cheering for them. Even though I asked if you think SLU or Mizzou are the favorites, you said Mizzou still might be, even after this performance. I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Mizzou can come up stronger. I mean, although this might be their strongest team, so then they're really just gonna have to step it up. Honestly, though, if I look at these two teams, I feel like Chopra and Gajic can really be two heavy hitters. And Batsura now also has a couple of seasons of CCL under his belt, and that's perhaps also why he's really stepping up to the plate and delivering in this match. So, maybe SLU with, quite a bit of
And
experience. Maybe they're the favorites.
and SLU's not even playing with Nicolosi today.
Yeah, but I was wondering about that if Nicolosi could not play or if they just considered Steve the better blitz player.
Well, I've definitely been seeing Nicolosi play throughout the regular season, but I think that the SLU team is very comfortable with Steve as well joining in the mix, and he's gotten some big points. I mean, he got a draw out of Aryan Tari in round one here, so definitely I don't think this is Tari's day today, and so some credit to Mizzou. They definitely have another level to them as we've seen before, and we actually saw Tari being a huge part of their championship run in the last fall season against SLU in the finals. So Tari is a CCL champion, but they lost last year to SLU, and this year they're losing again in the regular season. So it seems like a a toss up. If you have maybe Tari at his best, maybe Mizzou has a slight edge, but as we see here today, Tari can have some unfortunate tilts. Maybe I mean, even with like the mouse slip, if it went in Tari's favor that game, it'd still be 8-4, right? So
Mhm.
Mizzou would need a sweep in this round, which probably is not going to happen. But yeah, playoffs are always exciting, and UT Dallas is going to be in the mix, which is also exciting. So you never really know. We'll just have to tune in and find out and see which team is going to be the best on that match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's gonna be exciting in the playoffs. But yeah, like I said, I think Aryan is having a few unfortunate circumstances. He's probably still traveling, or maybe he just got back to Mizzou and is still jet lagged. So I'm sure in his best shape, he would do a lot better. Then also the very unfortunate mouse flip that game looked in the back, and then I don't know, perhaps also fatigue. Maybe he was a little bit upset after the mouse flip. That might have influenced him as well. But don't forget, he was playing Aryan Chopra, a very strong grandmaster. So we also have to give credit to him, of course. He played a great game with the Black Pieces. But I did not expect at all this match to be that one-sided.
Also, they've got Pan Am's coming up, so even if CCL maybe goes in someone else's favor, the college chess doesn't stop. So there's going to be Pan Am's happening in Chicago in January, always the first weekend of the year. So college chess is ramping up. It's always an exciting time of the year. CCL always concludes the fall season just before Thanksgiving, so the players will have a little bit of a break. And I know there's more opportunities for these college chess players to compete against each other. But yeah, this match right here and right now, it's going SLU's way, and SLU, I'm sure they're very happy. I'm sure VAR is also very happy. And I hear that apparently the way to celebrate a win in St. Louis is by getting pizza.
It's by getting good food. Yeah, either pizza or some Armenian barbecue. Armenian barbecue.
Oh,
Uh, by the way, Steve has won again, so he finishes with a very good score of 2.5 out of 4. That's really good as the board 4 against this Mizzou team. He checkmated Mahel, so nice win for him there.
that was
And oh no,
round
wait, I'm
three.
sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. That's round number my
you're
bad,
good.
my bad, my bad.
I gotta ask, where's
Uh,
this Armenian barbecue? I gotta check that out.
I don't know. VAR knows where all the good
He
food
knows.
is.
Okay, I gotta hang
He
out with VAR.
knows. Yep. Mm-hmm. I see Quixius subscribe to Prime to my channel. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Huge
Um,
prime. Yeah, shout out
I
to everyone hanging out with us today. Appreciate it.
mm-hmm. I like how Steve is playing. If we can go to that game, he's again up 2 minutes on the clock, putting quite a bit of pressure on the board as well. He just played bishop b8, bring ideas of queen to d6 in the position. Maybe not now, maybe just recapture on c4, but he's a very tricky blitz player.
Yeah, and for the people wondering why is this knight on g4 not taken, it's because that'll open up the queen on the h file. And right now, h2 looks like it's defended. There's a knight and a knight protecting the knight, which is really helpful. But the problem is Steve has two attackers, which means you can remove both knights. If bishop takes, knight takes, there's going to be a rook sacrifice. Rook takes on f3, removing the second knight and renewing the threat of checkmate on h2. So that knight on g4 is immune right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be a really tough position for Luka with 32 seconds on the clock, especially if you're facing such a strong attack. So let's see how Steve will continue here. Yeah, queen d6 is an idea. It's just unpleasant. It's just unpleasant. You feel like you're under pressure here with white.
For some reason, the computer's not suggesting queen to d6, so I'm not sure if there's anything wrong with that move because it looks pretty strong to me.
Mhm. The problem with queen d6 is that then probably white can take on g4, because then if you take on f3, white can always recapture with a knight, and then the queens are in direct contact with one another, so white would be immediately threatening the queen trade. So I think that's why queen d6 is not good here.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, knight takes and the queens are staring at each other, so you can insert a queen trade intermezzo uh, before you get mated on h2. So now it's Steve who's spending some time. He's under a minute as well.
Yeah, now I was praising his time management earlier, but now he's getting low on time as well. So here anything can happen. Let's see what he's going to do. Very tricky position.
Speaking of the time scramble, we've got Isak down to 10 seconds against Chopra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's doing well on the board, but 10 seconds is not a lot of time, especially against a strong player like Chopra. Let's see how Chopra will try to take advantage of that. We see Chopra really turning up the speed on the clock. I think he's really trying to pressure Ishik on time here.
Yeah, but Isak bringing the other rook in. Rook to d2 looks to be a major threat. So knight c4 guards that. c6 preparing for b5, maybe a4 here from white.
Mm-hmm. Yep, let's see what he's going to do. 6 seconds for Ishik. Pretty, okay, a4 on the board. Okay, g7. But Ishik, to his credit, playing really well in time pressure. Oh, but just as I say that, he makes a mistake. Rook takes f3, by the way, now a big threat. Oh, 2 seconds. He's okay.
King
1
f4.
second. 95, he's lost the threat. Now it should be one for Chopra. Check again,
Rook
maybe.
f7.
That makes a lot of
It's
sense.
calling for rook e2 is the
Uh-huh.
strongest move.
Right, because the knight is kind of trapped all of a sudden on the h2 square.
And a minute and a half for Chopra. He's got time to think here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should take a look at Gajic versus Tari.
Yep. The board ones facing off against one another.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Tari. Not a single win
oof.
today.
We tune in just in time to see Arion lose on time, but the position was already losing as he was in a fork. So strong performance by Gajic and Tari just not in form, but yeah, it's not a shocker because he's either still traveling back or he just got back and is massively jet lagged. So unfortunate
Wow.
circumstance for him there.
Yeah, and Chopra finds the rookie 2 move and he's winning, and he wins his game too. And we see Mihail flagging to Batsurin. Is this going to be a double sweep?
Wow, that'd be something. Luca though looks to be winning, so I don't think it's gonna be double sweep.
Oh,
He will get at least a draw because he has a repetition in his pockets. If he by the rook d1 was a win, but I don't think Luca is gonna lose. So he's gonna save them from a double sweep.
whew. I mean,
Although, anything can still happen here. Like bishop d8, Steve defending well here. Oh,
oh, main one. What?
what? He misses it. He misses it and won. And now that c-pawn is pushing a double sweep, it's still possible.
Oh no. It's just not
How did
Mizzou's
he miss
day.
mate and won?
It's not Mizzou's
Christian is
day.
not gonna be happy. He's gonna be like, well, guys, this match, did not matter much, but in the playoffs, you guys have to step it up.
You gotta erase this game from your memory.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this bishop f2 idea, sacking the bishop just to push the c pawn. But okay, I thought the
Really
bishop was gonna
interesting
go to
game
e1.
here. Right, like black is up a bishop, but these
Look at
pawns,
those pawns
you
go.
you don't just get rid of them. Is he gonna go rook d3? Yeah, he does. I don't know. I like Steve's chance to still pull off a win. We
Oh
might
my
see the double
god,
sweep.
and Luca might.
Rook e3 is winning now.
Oh my
Is
goodness!
is that gonna be a double sweep? I think so,
No
because Luca has,
way!
yeah, bishop takes c5. It's all gone. It's all gone now. Steve is gonna win again. That's
Can you
insane.
play rook
Although it's not
d2?
over yet.
Yeah,
Rook
rook
c1
d2.
only move, and bishop d4. Yeah, the pawns are just stuck. You go c2, bishop e2, king h6, everything. Oh, f6, then it's not over yet. Check. I like that move.
Ooh, he's preparing c2. Is there
c2,
c2? Just.
rook d2, and rook d1. Great
Oh,
find by Steve.
dude,
And the
this
problem is he's
is.
always queening with check.
And you're taking on h1
Queen with
or just
check.
queen, yeah. You might say
It's
resigns. No, he's still okay. There's got to be mate.
just check until it's made. Just check until it's made. That's what I would tell, my students. Just check until it's made. It's as simple as
He's
that.
gonna get
Check.
some ladder. Just
Hmm.
rook d3.
Just check. Like everything is checkmate. If he doesn't win this, then he might miss out on the Armenian barbecue.
Uh oh. No, this is good.
But
You can take with check. Or okay.
okay.
This is good too. All right. Wow. I cannot believe we just watched 8-zip in the second half for this SLU team.
Wow. I wonder if Orion's mouse slip tilted the entire team. Who knows? But yeah, it's SLU winning 12-3 over Mizzou. Wow, they're really. This is a statement win, Joe, leading up to the playoffs.
Yeah. SLU just took it to another level, and against their rivals, against the number one team, no less. Wow. I have nothing else to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, what a win. What a win by Mizzou, winning 13-3. And look at that. We see the scorecard. Batsurn going 4-0. Victor going 3.5. Aryan 3 out of 4. And hey, if your board 4 scores a 2.5 out of 4, you're going to be in great shape. And unfortunately, Luca did not get any points. Aryan is the board 1. Only got half a point. So Mizzou is going to have some work to do. Karela is going to make them run laps, do push-ups. He's gonna get them back in shape.
I don't know what he's going to do to the team, but the season is not over. So if there's any consolation for Mizzou, they know that they've got some big matches on the line, and it's okay to lose in the regular season. So really, the score doesn't matter. that much, but of course, it's definitely not a good feeling to lose like this, especially against your rivals. And SLU has to be feeling pretty good about themselves. But they can't celebrate too early because the real season is beginning next week, November 15th on Saturday. Be sure to tune in. We're going to be watching Division One quarterfinals. Um, as you had mentioned, SLU could have been potentially facing off against Texas Tech, for example. I think Mizzou is going to have to play against SRM IST from India, and it's going to be Texas Tech versus UT Rio Grande Valley. And the
Mhm.
winners of those matches are going to play off against the number one and number two seeds, UT Dallas and now St. Louis University. So lots of exciting college chess to be played with some cash prizes on the line. Speaking of which, SLU with their win today clinches at least fourth place in the season, which is $500. But they have a lot more left at stake. Total first place prize is $5,000 cash, and I know SLU are looking for more than just that. They're looking to defend their title. But there's other teams like Dallas that might have a crack at it, who's never won before. So this could be really big for them, and I can't wait. So we've got lots of college playoffs coming up, and I don't think we'll have a time for player interview, but maybe Bach, you could give us your final thoughts here on today's match.
Yeah, no, I think we've said it all. Crushing victory for SLU, 13-3. But like you said, the only thing that really matters is the playoffs. So I'm sure that, that's going to feel great for SLU. That's going to give them a lot of confidence going forward. And for Mizzou, I'm sure that this is going to channel their revenge feelings. They're going to try to come back with vengeance in the playoffs. So it's going to be really interesting to see who will win it all. I think either SLU, Mizzou, or perhaps UTD.
Yeah, or maybe even another black horse, a wild card. It could go anyway, depending on who's hot and who's not. Sometimes there's a sub that's playing, sometimes there's players in other events, but at the end of the day, it's all that matters is who comes up and shows up. And today that was St. Louis University. So congrats once again to them. It's good to have Bach in the booth. Thanks for joining us, Ben, and I'm looking forward to seeing you later. I think we're gonna stick around here, guys, because we're sending off a raid. Are you gonna stay live, Ben? I could raid you if you want.
No, I think I'm just gonna call it for right now. But yeah, it was great to be back, Joe. A lot of fun covering this match with you. So I wish you a great show as you cover the next match. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Take care.
Have a good one.